Well, it's right around the corner, the new year, Rosh Hashanah. And I'm here, Jay Buxbaum, with
Gabe Geller.
And Gabe, once again, we discussed it, but you've chosen some really wonderful wines. First of all, I'd like to thank Goldie for all the beautiful simanim, the beautiful fruits and fruits that we're having, and the honey that we're having today. But I want to take a moment to focus on an area that rings constantly in my mind and heart, and that is the North. You know, there's lots of challenges going on in Israel, and everybody talks about how the war's going in Gaza and of course, the hostages, and of course, our soldiers that are in harm's way and the population in general. But not enough attention is given to the North, where more than 100,000 people have been, literally out of their homes for a year. And all those people have been displaced and in other people's homes or hotels. Their businesses are shut. The winery, at least the winery tasting rooms, are shut, all up there. And so we talked about this, and as a result, you've picked wines that only come from the North.
Correct.
So we can focus on that. And I think it's important, I've mentioned this in my big reveals, but I think it's important here on Swirl to talk about how important it is for all of us to have at least some, if not a good portion of the wines for your Yom Tov holiday on the table from the North. Even the vineyards themselves are under constant threat that, okay, it's only grapes, it's only vines, but they're under constant threat of Hezbollah attacks, rockets, and the winemakers and the wine growers are going in there anyway, which is crazy.
So it's not only grapes.
And it's not only grapes.
People who go in the vineyards to harvest.
Right.
And to check on the vineyards. And it's not just vineyards, of course, there's orchards, there's all sorts of...
So we're going to focus on Israeli wines from the North. The first one, I'm going to start with the first one, is a Oregonese. It's a blend of Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc, mostly Sauvignon Blanc, 85% Sauvignon Blanc. It's, Oregonese comes from the Hidden Light. It's a yishuv that everybody works together. Everybody works together to really pull together, which is something that we need to do more of as Jews and as individuals, to work together and closer with our fellow Jews.
This is arguably, in my humble opinion, the best Israeli white wine. Mevushal, specifically.
Mevushal,
yes.
Right. Because I love this wine, but there are better, I think there are better non-Mevushal wines from Israel.
I agree. But this
is
richer,
very good. But this is amazing. And what I love about this wine, it's from the Hidden Light Winery Oregonese, is where it comes from is also important. The idea that people are all coming together, and they all do, it's not just a winery, they all do a diverse thing, group of things. They could be accountants, they could be vineyard growers, they could be winemakers, they could be construction workers, but they all come together to work for the benefit of the community that they're in.
That's right.
Oregonese,
and I wish
85%
that this...
Sauvignon Blanc, 15% Chardonnay. Tell me what you think about the wine.
So first of all, I wish that this Oregonese, this Hidden Light, will soon not be hidden anymore.
Be revealed.
It will be revealed for everyone to see.
Also, great structure, good nose, lively, fresh. I don't get what we talked about in earlier videos, in earlier swirls. I don't get that malolactic. I don't get that vanilla. I get more fresh and lively and fruit, more lemony. The Chardonnay is there, but only plays a role as giving it a little heft. But it's more Sauvignon Blanc, more lemony kind of Sauvignon Blanc. What do you think?
It's an excellent Sauvignon Blanc. Like you said, the Chardonnay gives it heft. It's got great acidity. It's really perfectly balanced. Delicious wine, refreshing. such a great way to open up, your meal on Rosh Hashanah. Really a fantastic wine.
What's next up, Gabe?
So we're gonna keep with the whites. Do the reds afterwards. So this is the Matar by Pelter Chardonnay.
And this is not Mevushal.
It's not Mevushal.
And this also comes from the Golan Heights area.
That's right. They are really, the Matar winery is Kibbutz En Zivan, which is
Why don't we take that
like
that
a
over
couple
here?
miles maybe from the border.
Really? Right off the bat, first of all, the color is slightly more, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe I'm wrong about it. I was going to say slightly more golden,
Yeah.
but maybe
more
I'm
or
wrong.
less the same.
More or less the
More or
same,
less.
yeah. But what I love about it is the gravel. You get that Burgundian aromas, which you don't necessarily get in a Northern Israel Chardonnay. Often Northern Israel Chardonnays reflect more New World, more California styles.
That's right.
Not in this aroma. This aroma reminds me of Burgundy.
Correct.
Do you agree? I mean,
I do, and even though it's
Burgundy,
aged,
France. Yeah.
yes, even though it's aged for 6 months in French oak barrels, I don't really get much of the oak on the nose. It's really the fruit that shines, and shines beautifully.
This is quite complex, quite delicious, but not heavy. I don't find it very heavy like a lot of the, very well-oaked Chardonnays, the big malolactic Chardonnays.
Right.
This is more also fresh and fruity, but clearly Chardonnay.
Exactly. And it's got more body to it than the Oregonus, for instance, which is to be expected from a Chardonnay. I do not get malolactic taste. I don't know if the wine went through malolactic. Probably not, perhaps partially. But it doesn't taste like it went through malolactic fermentation. It's really like fresh, zippy, a vibrant fruit, high acidity. And it's quite, it's like mouth-watering acidity, like literally.
Mouth-watering?
Mouth-watering.
I gotta make fun of you again. Mouth-watering. Yes, mouth-watering it is.
It's part of the show.
But next on the list is yet another winery and another wine specifically. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the wine, at least an insight about the wine. This wine is a Nebbiolo, and some of the most expensive wines out of Europe are made out of Nebbiolo, right?
Barolo and Barbaresco.
Barolo and Barbaresco from Italy. This is not from Italy.
Yeah.
What's interesting about this winery from Oda Mountain is that literally you walk outside the winery, you look up, and you could see Lebanon. And I'm not talking about from a high point. You can see Lebanon you could walk there, I would imagine, almost.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
You can almost walk there. Certainly some of the vineyards are in such close proximity. And that's why they are really, really under literally the gun when it comes to harvesting and pruning and all this stuff. So I'm really glad that you brought this.
And
Nebbiolo.
So their wines are also estate grown, their own vineyards at El Rom, at the El Rom vineyard, which is the highest elevation vineyard in Israel, and considered by most Israeli wineries as perhaps the best vineyard in Israel.
El Ram, huh? Okay.
And yes, it's a Nebbiolo, which is the grape that, as Jay explained, makes some of the best Italian wines, Barolo, Barbaresco. And while it does not taste like a Barolo, it has this distinctive feel to it, taste to it. We'll get to it right now. Which is it's strange. You will see it's both light and heavy at the same time.
What I find interesting about Nebbiolos is that even in Italy, even though like I started by saying it's the most expensive, can be some of the most expensive grape variety wines from Italy, Nebbiolo also makes lighter wines and accessible wines and wines that are about 15, 20, 25 bucks.
Right.
Not 100 like some of the Barolos and Barbarescos.
Smell this.
So let's take a smell.
It's incredible.
Wow. Earth. Mushrooms. You get the mushrooms?
Oh, 100%.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, but underneath chocolate and spice. Wow, so many things going on.
This is amazing.
Holy goodness. So many things.
Wow.
And as actually I do this, even more things are going on. Oh my goodness.
Wow. I just want to keep smelling my glass. Like I could do this all day.
And I think as this evolves, as it sits, it's going to evolve even more. Also, I'm going to teach everybody something also that you can use at home and have fun with at the table. If you can get a real good close-up of this glass, you'll see that there are legs coming down, and there's lots of legs coming down here. I wonder if this Nebbiolo is probably high in alcohol, but it certainly indicates that it's a big, viscous, I haven't tasted it yet, put it in my mouth yet, but it's certainly big, viscous wine, big, rich, full, textured wine. Let's take a look.
I think it's the first time on the show that I am mind blown by the wine.
Really?
I mean, I'm mind blown. You know why? Because usually these are wines that I'm very familiar with, and I've tasted this wine, or perhaps it was the previous vintage before, but it's not a wine that I've had often. I don't think that I've had it at my table at home, for example, and so I'm not as familiar with it as I am with others. And it's so good and so unique. Honestly, I think this is the best wine that I've ever tasted from Old Mountain Winery, and one of the best Israeli wines I've tasted in a while.
Wow. And this is a 2019, which makes it 5 years old, yet it's still...
And wow, did you taste it?
Yeah.
The tannins, the structure, the acidity, wow.
It's
kudos to you guys. Adam Afasi, the winemaker, incredible job.
And now, even just moments after we first smelled it, I get more chocolate, more black fruit, less of that mushrooms and earthiness.
Right.
That's kind of calmed down a little bit.
Right.
That aggressive mushrooms and earthiness.
They get black cherries.
I get black cherries. I get spice, spice box.
Yep. It's not cheap. I'm not 100% sure, but I think $70, $80. Have to double check. Not sure.
Wow. What a great bottle of wine that was. That is. And now it's your turn. Give us the last and bring it home, baby.
Yalla.
Yalla.
Jezreel. A good friend, Jacob Ner David, who is sending, these days, daily pictures from the vineyard, from the harvest. The Argaman, so let's talk about this variety, because it's an Israeli variety. It's a hybrid, a cross that was created in Israel, I think in the 1970s, if I'm not mistaken. And it's only grown in Israel. You spoke about it on your Great Reveal recently. And
for now. Someone's going to pick it up. You know, other wineries around the world are going to pick it up
eventually,
because it's doing such nice work here.
And you get this dark, deep, inky purple color.
Right.
And for good reason, because that was the primary purpose of creating this variety, was to add color, depth to wines back then. And you understand why. And
in an earlier reveal, I talked about how do you tell the deep color of a wine. And I said what you do is, when you're holding a stem glass, look down the center and see if you could see your fingers. Until now, until this wine, you could see an image, you know. So if you're gonna rate a wine in color from 1 to 3, this would be a 10.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, this is just
exactly.
You can't see a thing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, this is really dark and deep and rich, and you know.
And it's a 4-year-old
purple
wine, so
black
it's not
in the center.
It's not super new. It's 4 years old.
And what's interesting, what I love about the juxtaposition between the Nebbiolo that we just had and the Argaman that we're having now is the color is different, but also the Nebbiolo had so many things going on in it. This does not. This has one big, beautiful flavor of this Argaman that is cherries and berries and blackberries and, oh God, juicy, juicy, overripe strawberries, overripe, almost like going.
Strong tannins too, chewy.
Right, chewy tannins.
You're spot on those flavors.
Tannins on the gums.
Should have brought my toothbrush.
That stay with you, Probably will stain your shirt.
Yeah.
I already stained it a little bit, you see. Wow, this was great. It was a really great demonstration of the wines of the North. Once again, our prayers and thoughts are with all of Israel. And, it's important that we bring attention to the North, where the tragedy continues to unfold. So many people are over 100,000 are out of their homes. Have one of these wines for your Rosh Hashanah wonderful meal. This is Jay Buchsbaum and
Gabe Gatter.
Wishing you a good gebencht Jahr, a gesinte Jahr, a mazeldike Jahr, a hilfedike Jahr, alles Guts.
Amen. Shana Tova, Ktiva v'chatima Tova. Whoa! Wow, this is amazing.
That was amazing. Wow.
Gosh, how good is it? I have to
This
taste
is
it.
You
amazing.
have to taste it. Yeah.
Like this took me by surprise. Like I did not remember it to be this good.